Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. And we're back to Craftly Hall. And we're on day 6 here, and I'm going to continue the story. Um, Rose remained at the house, arranging their possessions and preparing the changes to come. She'd become unwell while employed at the factory, overcome by the effects of the phosphorus and sulfur that filled the air, suffering from sore eyes and developing a raw and prolonged cough. Her younger cousin Alice had similarly succumbed to a comparable affliction, and so was brought into the house as the autumn arrived to assist with cleaning and the general upkeep of the property and its gardens. So, this part here on 6 was about the considerable renovations that were required, and I had read that part of it to you in the last video. But what we have here, you can see like the real dilapidated background wallpaper here. We have a ghost. I had to put a ghost on here somewhere, and it says there's a ghost in this room. I got that from the Tim Holtz paper pads, and I even put a skeleton down here. And I think Tony actually went over hers a little bit because he was just a little too clean. So I may do that as well. Um, but I have a little lamp up here in case they need to come up and look for anything. But this has just been abandoned. Everything's been abandoned. You've got bugs up here. There's a spider. And this ghost guy, I messed up his hand somehow. And then I buffed over it with this scorched timber. And it made it real dark. So you know what? This is this guy right here, the convict. That's what I'm saying in my storyline, because he has something wrong with his right hand. His finger is off of it. So I'm saying that's his right hand. Okay. And so over on this side, you can see one of the long hallways that goes back, and you've got debris and stuff all up along the hallway edges. And the ceiling tile is about to fall down. There's bats up there. There's spider webs. That's where the spider's going. An old chair, and you can see just, rough floorboards and plaster and things. And then, there had to be moths, so he's going for the chair. And then bugs as well. And what was in the storyline was this was the section that was for the servants, that was for Mr. and Mrs. Milsond. So and they don't understand why this part of the house became so dilapidated, because they only had servants a couple years. When the doctor died, she moves out. So anyhow, that's my part of the story so far. And then I have this last piece in this part of the signature. I didn't want to make them too big. And we're going to start another one. So here's where we're at today. And this is where Rose is arranging their possessions and preparing for the changes to come. So this part of my page over here on the left, I was just going to make a scene where I've got a chair. I made a floor, and I've got a chair and a bookshelf, like they're sitting there to read, and they got their big lamp and the clock, and then a couple of family portraits. Like, I'm thinking this could have been, Jeffrey and Rose's wedding photo, and they got that up on the wall. And then maybe this is Jeffrey as a very young boy, and that's his parents. That guy looks like he's in a military, like a Civil War uniform to me. All right, so I'm going to get some of these other little pieces of furniture. I got all kinds of stuff to work with the other side over here. I've got a small, I don't know, cabinet of some sort. I got a beautiful chair here. I got another lamp, and of course the grandfather clock. There's a big bureau, kind of a opening here with the thing on the bottom, the drawer. I tried to use this. I wanted to use it so bad, and it's just too big. But I will find somewhere else in this house to use it. I've got a couple other lamps over here. And then there's some kind of a Tiffany lamp that would go up above. And I've seen quite a few people doing something like a tunnel card. So I'm going to set these things over here to the side, kind of where I wanted them, about like that. And I'm going to kind of push this over, and then we're going to work on this piece because it'll be the easier one because it's just going to be, you know, mostly just glued down. But, I mean, I've been so enjoying looking at everybody's makes and projects for this, and it's just fascinating. And it's such a unique experience, too, because you have a story, and then you have, you've got so many angles and versions. There's quite a few that aren't even kind of going with the storyline. They're just kind of taking what images that they find the most fascinating to work with, and they're going from there. I'm reaching over here to try to find me a marker because I kind of wanted to make like that corner mark for the room here. And I'm going to pull that marker up through here and see if I can get it to kind of come out. There we go. That's good enough, I think. It's kind of like I'm making you think it's there, but, you know, let's see. I thought if I can scuff up this area right here down below, that it might help it look more visually like it's the corner of the room. So I'm using a little vintage photo and a little bit of my scorched timber. And then I might even do it up here in a certain place or two, just so it looks like it's kind of another part of the wall, you know. Maybe a little bit of scuffing around, although they were like fixing, they were fixing up this part of the house, so maybe I shouldn't scuff it too much. All right, let's go with that. I'll put a little bit of that there. And then a little bit down here. I don't know if you're going to see this with what I've got going on it. All right, I think the first thing it needs to go is the bookshelf. So we'll go ahead and put that. Oh, and I want to thank everyone. I want to thank all my new subscribers, all my viewers, anybody that just might, wander by and want to see what I was doing. I really, really appreciate you for coming by, for giving me a little support, or just a welcome hello. And I'm taking a kind of a poll on my Rhoda Junk page and on my YouTube channel here, about if you're wanting to see every day of Craftly Haul made on film, on a video, or if you're okay with me just showing the more major scenes and things that are happening. I wasn't sure. A lot of people seem to be enjoying it, though. So I think I'm good with showing it, but I didn't know how much I could get on every day, or, if you'd want to see it every day. It would kind of almost take up all my other time of showing you other things. But I'm going to try to, like, adjust if I get a good amount in the poll. I'm thinking I'll somehow adjust it to where it'll work. Maybe I can film 2 days a day, something like that. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, and then we're going to go with this one. Now, my Aunt Nanny had a chair. It wasn't blue like this. It was red. And it had this imprint. It wasn't that one either. But it looked like this one. It had the same kind of shape to it. And all that pretty trim wood grain stuff around the outside edge of it. And, yeah, I had it in good shape for a while until my first little kitty, Sassy, decided to get on it with her little claws. God. What can you do? What can you do? All right. So this blue goes really nicely with this background. We're going to put our clock on next. Maybe I hold it right there. I did get all of these fussy cut out. And I inked around the outside edges as best I could. Sorry, Phyllis. But it needed to be done. Alright, I'm going to set that one right there. Try to make it look like it's sitting on the top. I guess that's as close as I can get it. Alright, and then our wedding photo goes next. And then our other one. I read all the way to the end of that page because I think we're going to work with Alice next, where she's coming into the household. Her page will be the next one. But we still have to work on this tunnel configuration here. I'm still working it in my head, exactly how I wanted to do it. You know how it is. You got to try to figure out what works the best. I think that's a good location for that. Kind of balances out everything else that's there. Okay, now that side is done. And I'm going to glue it. I'm going to glue it on this page here. I'm not going to do it right yet. I may do that off screen so I just don't take the time to have to put that down and all that kind of good stuff, you know. Our next page, or the side of the page, is this one. And it has the same configuration except backwards. I've got the floor here, and that's actually part of the background. That's the same background that I've got, but I saw this on one of my pages, and I thought, you know, well, that would be a great indoor. Like, I'm going to make this looking like it's going back through rooms, not exactly a hallway, but rooms that one's coming in from this side and one's coming in from that side. And that's where I'm going to try to use a good bit more of this stuff here, furniture. And I don't know, I'm going to try. So I went and I took this. This is the tag that came with the Pages kit. It was this tag, it was this background tag here, and then about rows arranging their possessions. So I need to just go ahead and glue this shut and have it ready to go, because it'll just be drying while I'm doing this. I'm just going to go around the outside edges and then swirl a little bit inside, and that's all I need to do. And I really think I'm going to take this page that came with it, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that to the back. I thought that would be a good place to write. It's kind of neutral, and it does have the color that goes with this really well. I'm going to make sure all these edges are down. Okay, like that. And I think both sides are relatively the same, so we'll just go ahead with the ink. Glue. Sorry. I do that. I know I've heard other people do that too. I don't know if it's... I don't know. It's like you're conditioned to talk about ink, I guess, if you do inking. Could that be it? Is there any psychologists out there that could explain how that happens? Alright, so let me rub that down. Get that wiped up. And it's ready to go. Alright, so that's the back. This is the front. And then we're going to get into figuring out this situation. Now, like I said, trying to get my paper in there. It didn't want to go. I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, because this is fine. Wherever this is located here is fine and dandy. It's not going to affect anything else we do. Okay. So let me get that down. I'll start at this corner, squeeze it in, and yeah, good to go. And then I also took and turned this, got stuff everywhere, turned this backwards, and I wanted this dead center, and I'm going to put this right at the top because that's how I've done all the rest of them. So I drew a line all the way around there. So that's going to be the width of our cutout, and of course it's going to be like a 1/2 inch at the top. That's going to be left there for stability. All right, so let me get that cut out, and I'll figure out where to go from there. Okay, I used my cutter and just cut around the outside edge of where I had those lines, and I got a nice little piece for something else now. So I'll keep that in my stash. Some people have been making tag books and stuff out of their excess and things like that, so that's pretty neat. You know, you got all kinds of things you can make. I'm going to go ahead and go across the top here. And I'm going to ink the edge like I have been for the other ones I've showed you, just because that's saving you a little bit of time at the end. Then we're going to put this on. I had to run to Verona today because I've got worthless siblings. Yeah, that's my take on it. My mom did something. She said she reached into down into a barrel or something. You know, she's always out there in her garden. So she claims she went and reached down into a barrel and wrenched her back in some way. I don't know what she could have done, but that's what she said she did. And I had to run to Verona to see if I could find her some type of back support. And I heard my brother there. I said, well, what is Alan doing? He can't go down there and look for one for you? And she goes, no, he's too busy. He's going to go out. He's going to go out and mow the dog yard. It's like, that's more important than you are? Good grief. And then after I went down there, I asked Mom and Dad if they needed anything for lunch. So I got them lunch and brought it back to them as well. So I saw my sister leaving out and going back to her place. Well, she was mad because my brother was mowing. Go figure. You know. So anyway, needless to say, I said, yeah, y'all did good. You got 2 of them that aren't much good for anything. All they can do is complain about each other. I just stay out of it. I come up here and I do my little crafting and doing my videos and talking to my people I always talk to every day, and that's all I do. Yeah, she's jealous of him, and I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, I got a little bit of wallpaper left right there, and that was it. I didn't realize I was that close. And I've already inked around the outside edge there, so. Well, I do. No, I did ink that. That's right, I did. Okay. My next idea. Before I glue those down, I've got to think about how it's going to happen here. I got to think about it. Now, I got this piece that's going to be at the very, very back. That's going to be, and I might pull that down just a little bit so you see the floor. And it almost looks like, well, actually, you know, it almost looks like a continuous floor. I wonder if I need to do that. You know, I think I do. I'm going to just do it right here with my little snippers. Because it's supposed to be like a continuous floor that you're walking back through a doorway, you know. And, yeah. We got to do that. We got to do that. So let me just trim that out. Put a little bit of extra inky right there. And on that top edge. Okay. Yep. See, you gotta, you gotta think these things out. Oh, they're brain teasers. All right. Yes, that looks better. Looks much better to me. Okay. So now I need to, figure out, where's my base paper? We're going to go ahead and take our base paper, and that's what I got right here. And we're going to glue this down. I'm going to set this on top, and we're going to figure out where this is going to be on this paper. And go ahead and glue it down and get it out of the way. Once it's down, that's where it's going to stay. But I need to bring in a couple more walls as I was describing. So I need to figure out what paper I want to use for that. You know, it could be I could use some of this that I've got that's been cut offs, because I've trimmed a few things, and there's a tag or two that I haven't used in the kit. I changed it out for something else. So you always have something that you collected, you know. So yeah, this is going right there, right down the center. Okay. Gonna rub that on, get it down. So let me go over here and do a little digging, and I'm going to see what papers that I have. All right, I found these two. These were 2 tags, and I forget what they came with. But I'm wondering if I can put them together somehow. I cut that across so it's not a tag anymore. And then put it across here, where I think it might, yeah, like that. That looks like it might go together, so I'm going to kind of just throw the glue under there, and then I'll glue the back side. Okay, let's see. See if I got it straight. Yeah, a lot of these pieces, you know, you just play with them. All right, and then we're going to go up underneath here and glue the rest of that. You could cut this off if you want, however you might go about doing it. In case you want to try this look, that's what I mean. If you want to go and try to do a look like this with this crazy assortment that I got going here, I need to trim that down flush. Okay, and then we need this to be cut off. I think I like the dark at the top. Is that upside down or right side up? I think I got it going either way at this point, so I don't think it matters. So I'm going to go up underneath of that a little bit and a little bit below. So if I can remember where I marked it, I think I marked it right there. Okay, and then this piece is just about right on the money. All I'd have to do is cut down one side. So yeah, all I have to do is cut that in half and cut that, and then we're good. Okay, I got a couple of my strips under there, and I'm trying to see how they're going to work. And so we're going to probably cut that down just a little bit more. I don't need quite all of that showing. So we have a little strip for something else later on. And we'll have to figure out where we need to cut these off, because that one I do know I need to cut it about to there, because it's going to be a higher wall. And the thing is, I needed to glue something on the bottom of these, because I need it to look like the baseboard, I guess you would call it. This is not quite straight, so we're going to straighten that out. And then we're going to put us a little bit of glue right here. And we're going to glue that right on top of it, to where it looks like that's the baseboard. I don't know if I shaped that right. I think this side is covered with a piece of furniture anyway. So I don't think I need to worry about that. But this side, I do need to put another piece on here. It just wasn't looking right because I could see the floor here. I thought, no, no, no. That does not look right. I'm trying to build a house here in my mind and how it's going to turn out for me. Now we're going to go ahead and ink the edges just to have them done. And then we'll figure out where we need to go. I need to get in here with the plastic next and do my support on the outside of my edge here. So we'll get that part done. Flip. Well, I had a little piece of clip there to keep me in the right spot. All right, and I believe what I did was I put this down first, and then I put this down. I've been inking so much, my fingers done turned. All right, so let's do this real quick. And this one real quick. Have it done. All right. Yeah, there were slim pickings in Verona on back braces. And I did a little bit of homework before I left, and I thought I was going to be getting it at Walgreens. Nope, they had something that was clay. It was clay inside. That thing was a heavy box, and it had you could heat it or whatever, cool it, heat it, whichever way you needed to go with that. But I didn't know if that was the way she wanted to go. I know there's some that's got the copper in it. Now, she's a big proponent of the copper because she used to wear a ring and then a copper bracelet for years and years. I mean, she kept it. It turned green. She had it on somebody. I don't even think she took it off when she took a shower. But yeah, she was wearing that thing for ages and ages. I've got I got a bit of, it's not covered here, but I think we'll be okay. I did have a little snip left here. Let's see if I can get close enough. There we go. Close enough. I can pick them up. So yeah, she done did herself in now. I don't even know what she did exactly. Just need to be careful. Poor Dad, he's not in any shape to be able to take care of anybody. He barely can walk some days. Depends on, how bad the days are, All right, let's get this in here, and that part will be finished. And then we have to get a bead around the outside edge for our shrink wrap, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I'm just going to put it on here and let it do what it wants to do. Okay. Now, I think I've used fabric tack in the past, but I went ahead and used my Bearly Arts glue. We're going to see how she rolls. There we go. It's kind of rolling everywhere. Let's hope it dries. I might have to switch that out. I should have thought about that. Okay, I had this little piece of wood that's still over there. That was from the day the doctor got killed by the beam. Well, anyhow, I'm putting this on here because the floor was still kind of warped looking, wasn't at the right levels and stuff like that. So this is not going to be seen except possibly. So I'm putting it on there just in case. All right. And then this piece here is going to be glued on to this portion right there. And half of it I can probably use for another room later on, like it's halfway coming into the room. I think I'm going to use that big bureau for the bedroom, because there is part of the story that talks about them being woken up by noises coming out of the kitchen or something like that. So I can probably use that on that day. So we're going to put this right here. And what the deal is, I have to have this go on first. And be right behind glued against the cellophane or whatever. It's something, the way it's got to be layered. And then we're going to put the lamp on top, like that's like a night light kind of a thing to get into the other room. Who knows what these other rooms are? They could be, you know, you got a door probably that's going to the outside, and then you have probably a study. You have probably a waiting room. The way this big round table looks, it looks like it could have been something that was like, as soon as you entered the house, you had that big entryway kind of a situation. So this has to go not that far up. I need to still be able to see the lamp, so, and the doorway. So I think I'm good with it right there. Maybe that. Okay, now what am I going to have to do? I'm going to put glue on the top section and the very right section. Okay, this is hard. I didn't think it was going to be this hard. But I guess everybody else that was doing these tunnels had the same situation. Alright, I'm going to kind of lay it to the side here. And this, I know, needs to go right up there. And this along this side. Yeah, I think I've got it. Ooh, I can see the glue seeping out, but it dries clear, so I shouldn't have any problem there. As long as I can get it go thin enough. Alright, so that goes here. And then another wall comes in here, but I don't think there's anything on it. I didn't have anything skinny enough to go on it. And everything else I had was like wide, like another chair and this and that. So this is what I'm wanting to go here. And I wish I could get it to where it would hide this puddle or whatever it is. It's throwing me off because, yeah, it's throwing me off. Maybe I'll just go all the way down. I don't know. But then that's not another room, is it? I think I'll go with it right there. I need to hide. Yeah, there we go. Let's see how I need to do it. I think it was like right up here somewhere. And then down this side. Okay. I think that's it. And then I'm going to cut this top off. Alright, now, get that back in here. Figure out where I decided I wanted it to be. We're going to go with it right there. And I can see that one strip of the wallpaper, which is good. Alright, let me rub that down. Now, then I can glue this down. That's that's been the issue. Well, actually, I think my tag will still go down in there because I've got the whole top glued on. All right. Then I have to do the top opening like that. And then we got to glue that down. So let me go ahead and get that taken care of. And it's like right in here is where it needs to all be glued. Wherever this little strip is that I strengthened the edge with, that's where I need to glue. Okay. Now, and then this is going on this way. Is anybody else doing this? I know there's been several that's been interested, but it's just so much fun. I mean, I would love for her to do this every quarter, like she could do. What makes it is this story. The story is what really pulls you in, and you have so many variations to the story that you can go by and do, and you have all the ephemera. Oh my gosh. And it's like playing house. That's what I was like with this. This is, oh, I'm loving it. Because I always loved miniatures when I was little. Well, when I was big too. I just love miniatures. So I thought, well, you know, this is sort of along the same aspect of that. Now this grandfather clock is going right here. And see, that's why you really don't see those pieces. I just didn't know if you would or not, so I stuck them there. And see, you're not even going to see the bottom part of that because this is going to be here. I do need to put my line in for the corner of the wall, you know, like I did before. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll rub it back and forth. It doesn't seem like it wants to put out any ink. And then we're going to put a little bit of darkness. Like I said, we're going to darken to make it look like that's the base of the wall and all that kind of stuff. If you see it. I don't even know if you see it. Maybe we'll do this corner up here as well. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and glue this down. And it shouldn't take me too long to do Rose's story. I don't think there's much to her. I do have a little cutting out to do, though, I think. I was doing so much fussy cutting the other day, and then I was going through and pouring through the ephemera, trying to find everything I thought would go with what. Been having to talk to Jody and see if she knows where certain things are, and what some things are, what are their meaning. I mean, there's stacked chairs, and I was asking her today, I said, what in the world do these stacked chairs go with? I said, I've not really read anything that I've noticed in the story that has to do with a bunch of stairs being stacked, unless it has to do with the, you know, the renovations and, you know, part of the house is, but that was the servants' quarters that was in disrepair. So I'm not really sure. Now, where is, that's the side. I can't go all the way over there. I have to go about right here. Oop, let me move it up because it's going to be right against the wall. Okay. Yeah, we want it right against the wall. So there's that part. Then we have to finish our tag. And we do still need to put that on there, and I haven't even thought about where that could go. Shame on me. Shame on me. All right, let me fold that up. Get our tag over here. I chose to have a white top. And I did choose to switch it around to wear this blue because the blue, I think, goes better with, you know, to me, it goes better. Plus, it sort of gives you a floor. That's the other thing. It kind of prepared a floor of sorts for the little rugged table to be on. And then I just picked out this nice plain tag pull because I think the Tiffany overhead here is going to be on that. I think that's how that's going to work. So I didn't want to take away from that beautiful Tiffany. You imagine some of the places had such gorgeous furniture and things like that. I mean, I've got Tiffany below here on this little lamp, but I thought it would be okay to have it above as well. That is to go down in there about like there. So that's going to be, yep, I think that's fine. It kind of blocks my door, but you will see it once you pull the tag out. That's the beauty of this. All right, let me get in here. Got all kinds of little jiggy jaggies. I gotta put some ink glue on. Tried to do it again, didn't I? All right. Miraculous. Okay, I'm setting it here. I have a little bit that's sticking out on each side, but not that much that I would be worried about it. All right, let me just go ahead and smooth it. Ooh. All right. Got that taken care of. Now I'm going to put my little Tiffany at the top. Okay. Oop. Am I going to see it? It's going to go right here. About right there. Okay, now the big decision. Where is our little card going to go? Maybe up here. Oh. If I would have thought about it, I could have tucked it. I'm gonna force it because I'm gonna tuck it behind this clock. I think that's all I need to pull up. Right? Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right. Success. That was the one thing I hadn't planned out on. Okay. La 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 la. It's a good thing I didn't have anything on this side of the room. It wouldn't have been seen anyway with everything I had to do. All right, let me push that down real good. Oh yeah. All right, now we're going to do what is this, the great reveal? All right, we have to go into our pocket and see if it works. See if I haven't screwed it up in some way. It feels like I've done something. All right, it goes down in there like that. I can see it. I can just make that one out. I can see my table there. That print is a little on the large side. Other than that, it's acceptable. I don't have anything out here, which that's the only thing I would wish for. And I may have to check and see if there is anything else, or if I can make a rug of sorts to go here. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, where's the other side? So here's the other side. This is our spread for today. I have to get that other piece glued on there. And now we're going to try to whip up Alice's page real quick. It shouldn't be as taxing as this thing turned out to be. Oh, okay. Yep. I think I'm happy with it. And then you wonder, what else? Is it the end of the hallway? And there is a door. Okay, let me get this to the side. All right, I've got the general makeup going here. I'm not doing anything fancy this time, any cutouts or anything. I do have a tuck. It did send these two with the actual kit. And I don't know, I didn't want to cut into this, and I didn't have that much that was going with Alice's. So we're going to hold these to the side. They'll be for another day. Okay, this side is the easiest, so that's the one I'm going with first. And I loved this wardrobe that came with it. I figured, you know, Alice is going to move in. She's going to bring some of her clothes. She's got to have a wardrobe for them to go into. And trying to set her up. I know they at least had to have given her a room. I mean, she seemed to be sort of a worker, but, you know, she was Rose's cousin, so she wasn't all that low on the totem pole, if you know what I mean. So, I'm sure she had nice things. She was out in the workforce, and because she worked at the same place that Rose did, Jeffrey's plant or factory, whatever you want to call it. And I figured that Rose's favorite color was blue. So a lot of her furnishings, trying to get all these little nooks and crannies on this bed, are going to be some type of blue theme. So she had the same kind of ailment that Rose does, where she has a problem with her eyes and coughing and things like that. Now, I know this is not a typical arrangement for a bedroom, but I thought that would be kind of the easiest way to go about giving the impression of a bedroom. Okay, I think that glued down, yeah. So we have that. Then we're going to put our little thing about Rose's cousin. Alice joins them at the house, and I'll put that right here, kind of halfway up the side. And that's also in a shade of blue. And I found this little thing in the ephemera. It's like a little wall hanging. Has little flowers on it that kind of reminded me of this background that I chose. So we're going to put that up here at the top, like she's got it on the wall of her bedroom. Yeah, just like that. Okay, that page was easy. We'll just set that to the side. Now, this one has a few pieces and parts we have to arrange. Now, this can get glued right onto the letter. Now, the letter was, I don't know if there's actually a letter from Alice to Rose or not in the ephemera, or well, it wouldn't be in the ephemera because I've looked. It may have been on the Foxy Crafters Facebook group or the members page. So I kind of made this up myself. I said, "Dearest Rose, thank you so much for the offer of a room in your new residence. I will pack and be there by and by. Your cousin Alice." Yeah. By and by. Isn't that one of those old phrases? I thought so. Okay, so here we have the gates. Here's the gates of the estate, and that's where Alice would be coming up through once she gets off of the probably the coach, or I don't know. I'm thinking she must have been on a. Do they have buses back then in 1920? I guess they did. So she's getting off of whatever the convenience is that brought her there, because we know she was walking because of this picture here that I'm gluing down. Because she's kind of walking up to the house. See? I'm guessing that is the day of her arrival. I've been seeing a lot of people use that, so I thought that would be the perfect one for this page. Now this is going to be a tuck, and I'm going to kind of put it right here in the middle of the page. And it's going to tuck this in here. I might, well, maybe over a little further in the middle, because I'm going to glue it on this slant, this side and this side. So yeah, maybe right there. So about 1/2 inch. So this side gets glued, this side, and this bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of glue that as well, because it's only going to tuck up to a certain point there. I think it's about right here that I decided to stop it. Yeah. So I guess Rose knew that Alice, you know, had to quit work, and she didn't have anything that she was able to do at the moment. So they offered her a place there with them. Now this piece was in the ephemera a little further back, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. But I thought this could be like a young Rose. This might be something that Rose carries around with her, and this is her, like when she was a teenager and getting, not quite in the workforce yet, but starting to go to parties and soirees and whatever you want to call those kind of get-togethers they had back in the 1920s. So we're going to put that right here. Oh, I need to adjust it just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I'm trying to get her to where I can see most of her hat and everything. Okay, that'll work. This is going to get glued shut, and that's what we're doing. I've already inked around all the outside edges. I'm going to ink this part here. I don't know what, I mean, is this England? I guess it is Lower Craftley. So I guess they still had the caste system back then. So Rose and Alice must have been, you know, not exactly well-to-do, but they were in that same class that Jeffrey was in. All right, I'm going to ink that right there because that little bit of white was showing. Oops. I got a little bit of trimming right there. It didn't go together quite like planned. Okay, there we go. We'll do one more squashing. And as you can see, it didn't quite reach top and bottom. And that's where this came in, this frame that I cut out. I'm telling you that I've done so much fussy cutting in this business. I had to stop and actually do some more fussy cutting. And my husband, he got home. And I'm thinking, I still hear fussy cutting. I had some of it done. I have to prep the day before from now on. But I thought I would try to do a couple days at a time. And that would get it going, and wouldn't take as long to finish. Plus, I need to do a few things in between because not everybody's going to want to see this. Not everybody. There are quite a few that's excited about it. And I did a little poll today to see how they would like me to go about it. Okay. That is sort of, it looks sort of crooked, but we're going to go with it. All right. Let me cap my glue and let's look at what we got. Get everything out of the way. All right. So we have Alice, who's came through the gates. She's walking up to the house. She had written a letter to thank her cousin Rose to let her come stay. And this is a young Alice right here, when she was just a girl. And probably when she would go to play with Rose a lot. Now here's her wardrobe. Isn't that pretty? All those different dresses. And then this is her bed and her little artwork she's got on the wall. Maybe that's what she tries to do now. Simple pieces of art. And then this will go in. Now, of course, she's here on the back. She's probably young teenager here. And then she's older, where she's able to go out in society more. And neither one of them's going to show. So we're just going to tuck it in like that, where this color kind of pulls you in over here. All right. Okay, so here are our 2 pages that we got done today. Day 7, which Rose is arranging the possessions. And here is one of the chairs that they read, and they have a little clock behind them. And some of their photo arrangement on the wall. Can't even talk. The wedding photo, and Jeffrey when he was a young boy. And then over here we have another, which is sort of a tunnel effect. Mine didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. It really didn't. And over here my line didn't even go all the way down. I'll fix that. But yeah, when you pull this out, you can kind of see back into the room. It didn't quite turn out the way I wanted, though. I was picturing something so much different. Anyhow, okay, so we're going to flip the page, and we got where Rose is coming into the household. You can see where she's written to Alice. Alice is coming into the household, sorry. You can see where she's written to Rose, and then we have her walking through the gates and up to the house, and this is one of her possessions where it shows her at different ages. Maybe that's in Rose's possession. She may just have that here with Alice's stuff. And then Alice is setting up her bedroom. She chose blue, so she has a lot of blue attire, a blue wardrobe, and bed, and things arranged around the bed and the wallpaper. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you come back to spend another day at Craftley Hall with me. So, everybody have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.